Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Amazon DIY. I'm Ruben Kenyon, founder of PAS Professional Amazon Services. And today I want to talk about one of the most underutilized programs on Amazon that can completely change the economics of your brand. And that is subscribe and save feature. Here's the problem most Amazon sellers have. Every single sale costs you money to acquire. You're paying for PPC, you're fighting for organic rankings, you are competing on a price. And every time the customer finishes their product and needs to reorder, you have to win them all over again. You're paying twice for the same customer, 3, sometimes even 5 times. That is an incredibly expensive way to run a business. Subscribe and Save eliminates that. When a customer subscribes to your product, they are telling Amazon to automatically reorder it on a schedule. Every month, every other, every 3 months, whatever they choose. That means after the first acquisition, every subsequent order costs you $0 in advertising. $0. The customer comes back to automatically without you spending another dollar to get them there. But it goes deeper than just saving on the ad spend. Subscribe and Save customers are stickier. They are less price sensitive. They are less likely to switch to another competitor because they have already committed to a recurring relationship with your product. Your revenue becomes more predictable. You can forecast inventory with more confidence, and you can plan cash flow months in advance instead of guessing week over week. Here's what most the sellers do not realize. Amazon actively favors subscribe and save products in search results. Products enrolled in the program get a visible discount badge on a listing, which increases your click-through rate. They get a priority placement on a certain browse nodes. The recurring revenue signal tells Amazon algorithm that your product has a strong customer retention, which helps you with your organic rankings over the time. If you sell any consumable, replenishable, or regularly used products and you are not enrolled in a subscribe and save, you are leaving recurring revenue on the table every single day. In the next part of this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to set it up, step-by-step guide in Seller Central, and walk you through some of the strategies that we use in PAS here to improve the subscribe and save results and grow your subscriber count. So stick around. I'll see you on the next page. Hello. All right. To start the subscribe and save journey, first we need to find where it is located. And it's somehow hidden in the settings and fulfilled by Amazon. In order to get there, you need to go to the settings, go to fulfillment by Amazon. There's another way to find it, which can be within the search, typing subscribe and save, and an AI assistant will help you to get to the dashboard. But the original placement of it is under settings. You go to fulfillment by Amazon. Here, you scroll down all the way here where you see subscribe and save and go to edit. This will take you to the entire place where subscribe and save is held. And you see multiple subjects here that we'll get to that eventually. But the first is where you actually set up your subscribe and save discount. For this product, Easy Bumps, we have our options. We have our different SKUs. And the way to set it up, it's you go to the choose discount. You pick the type that it fits for your budget, and you confirm the discount. Now, a couple of words on how to choose that discount. Obviously, it comes down to the end to what your profitability, but here are a couple of things to consider. One of it, of course, is measuring how long the subscribe and save customers stay with you, meaning how long it takes them before they cancel their subscription. That is, can be 2 or 3 purchases. So if you have an average order value $20, that can be around $80 an average before a single customer drops off. So considering that, you can adjust it, but not just the first acquisition, but the later acquisitions that will accumulate in total. But before you just jump in and put the max amount of 20%, consider something else that we'll get later on this video, which is a subscribe and save coupon. So that said, let's explore the other options of the subscribe and save dashboard that we have, and which is the next one will be the dashboard itself. Here we have all the important data of the subscribe and save that will help you to make the right decision. And it just got updated, which is pretty cool. And I'll tell you what the update is right now. And that is on the reorder versus subscribe and save report. And for that, what it breaks you down is your actual product that gets reordered by the customer versus subscribe and save. And that is a very important information, which can tell you in this case that we have lot more room to grow our subscriber numbers and get that organic subscription revenue compared to the reorder, which in some cases can be additional PPC dollars spent. So in this case, it's a really good indication for the company to be a lot more aggressive when it comes to subscribe and save. We have, of course, subscribe and save share total data, which is kind of speaks to that as well. We have the reorder rate and subscribe and save rate, which is significantly higher reorder rate than the subscribe and save, which kind of proves the point of that the subscribe and save strategy on this company needs to be significantly improved. We have subscribe and save lifetime value by a customer compared to one-time purchases of subscribe and save, the average reorder per subscriber to non-subscriber, and also one of the most important and the places that I like to take a look at is the retention. So we have 78% retention on the 30 days and 59% retention of the 90 days. So that gives us an average about 60 days of retention, which comes back to my point, 2 orders at least before the subscriber jumps up. So this is a very important information for you to make that decision how to set up your subscribe and save. Of course, we had here, I think I skipped it real quick, our subscription number count, how many subscribers we have, and also share a coupon sale. This is something that I'll touch upon later. So here we have the planned units broken down between, so 30 days is the least, obviously, because this product takes a little bit longer to reuse. 90 days is our most in this case, and the revenue that will be generated based on that subscription. So the next, the performance report, there's nothing here because you have to create the report. You can create the reports as you have it, but the dashboard already does a great job to show your performance. And also benchmarking, it's something new that has been added with the AI generated. So again, it gives you kind of an overview data where you are on a year-over-year basis. You can see also some of the suggestions that it has in order to help you improve. So with that said, let's get into the next part, which is how to improve your subscribe and save the numbers by running a subscribe and save coupon. Here we are at the subscribe and we are on a coupons dashboard, and how to get there is pretty simple. From your burger, you go to advertising and you go to coupons, and all will be here. You can see we have multiple subscribe and save coupons right now running. And to create a coupon, it's very simple. You go create a new coupon. You pick your customers, and you pick your type that you want. In this case, will be subscribe and save or reorder to improve it. But let's speak more about why this is important and how you can utilize that even further. So again, remember that 60, 90-day customer retention rate that we've looked into, which is an average $90 or $80 before the customer jumps off. So if you have an ACOS of, let's say, 20%, or whatever it is for your first customer acquisition, this way, when you have the subscribe and save discount, let's say the 10%, and then you run additional 20 to 25% on that subscribe and save, your ROAS on that subscribe and save customers is way greater, because on a $20 product item, even if you offer combined, let's say, 35% discount, which will technically means it's a 35% ACOS, in a long run, divided that by the 2 or 3 purchases of that organic, your return on investment is much greater than your first PPC acquisition and a single order that you're going to get. So considering that longer stay customer acquisition and basically their lifetime value through the subscription, you can be a lot more aggressive on your first acquisition. I work with the companies that went even breakout on a subscription and making money on the subsequent purchases. So when you're setting up your subscribe and save discount, consider your coupon as well, and consider the metrics shown on the side of the dashboard, and make a decision more collectively rather than individually. And that concludes our today's video. I hope you find this useful. Indeed, this is one of the greatest tools available in Amazon to improve your bottom line by adding those organic sales. And if you find this video interesting, please put the like button and subscribe for more Amazon related content. And I see you on the next